That's what that is. 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 Mighty dollar make this dirty world spin. That's what that is. Rose gold team when she grin. That's what that is. I could make a meal times 10. That's what that is. And I don't trust the soul. CTN. That's what that is. If you ain't on your grind, then you shucking. That's what that is. Talk is cheap, but you ain't saying.
Oh, hello, 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 hello. Um, how's everybody doing? Um, I want to welcome everybody. I got one important thing to announcement to make. The meeting of the minds is going to be showing on real life street stars, real life productions coming up at like sometime either next week or the week after next. So stay tuned here to find out the information. In the meantime, I'm going to show you guys the commercial for that. And the music you guys are hearing from is from Nina Supreme. She's an artist from Tennessee. Shouts out to her. She gave me permission to be able to like showcase her music, and I just want to give some love to her and a shout out to her. Um, so we're gonna play this one commercial, and then we're gonna get on with the show.
That's what that is. 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 Mighty dollar make this dirty world spin. That's what that is. Rose gold team when she grin. That's what that is.
Alrighty, guys. Again, y'all, meeting of the minds is coming up. I hope you guys get to check it out. It's gonna be a really cool event coming up on Real Life Street Stars. Please look forward to that event. Keep your calendars posted. I will give you guys the date of when it's gonna be showcasing. Um, with no further ado, I wanted to announce my next guest. I kind of ran across her page from a content creator named Papa Duck, and uh, it was like mind blowing the information that this woman has. I was so taken aback to hear a person talk the way that she does, and I was very inspired by her. With no further ado, I want to bring to the stage Mrs. Dr. Tawanna Worlds. Hello, hello.
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Hello, hello, and hello. Thank you so very much for having me here.
Yes, yes, I'm so excited because I don't get to hear too many people talk about the subjects that you talk about. I don't get to hear that many black women talk about technology in the way that you do. I was very inspired by the information that you have to give and the actual reason for giving the information. Um, was very inspiring. So, what I wanted to like first do is I want you to first introduce yourself to the audience here, and explain who you are, and you go from there.
All right, all right. So again, thank you so very much for this opportunity. I really appreciate the opportunity because every time that I'm able to either join someone, connect with someone, network with someone, it's a campaign against ignorance. It's a campaign against lack. It's a campaign against poverty. And so, with that being said, my name is Dr. Tawanna Worlds. I'm also known as the disruptor because I come by to disrupt lies, structures, systems, you name it. If it's contrary, I come by to disrupt it. So that is what I am, who I am, and that is what I do. I am showing up as a modern day Moses, a modern day Harriet Tubman to say, let my people go. Should I just keep flowing, or you let me know how we rolling? I know you said introduce myself, so I don't want to overstep my boundaries.
StreamYard is acting weird. I was trying to get you in that single view. I want
Okay.
to know, like, where do what inspired you? What made you want to do this? What made you take the charge to do this in your life? Like, what was the reason?
So I grew up in poverty. My mother was a single mother. My father was an absent father. My father was in prison all of my life, and so I grew up in poverty. I became a product of my environment, literally. Even though I grew up in poverty as a child, I knew that there was always something greater for my life. And so I vowed as early as like 5 or 6, when we was really like, because we didn't, when my mom had us, we lived a nice life. We lived in Los Angeles, California. So we lived a nice life. And then she moved and we moved down to another small city in California. And it just seemed like all hell broke loose. I mean, we went from having something to absolutely having nothing. And so transitioning like that, I knew by that I was, there's more to my life than this as a small child. And I just remember telling myself, like, when I get grown, I promise I'm going to have my own business and I'm going to have all my family working for me and working together so that we ain't never got to experience poverty. So that is the foundation of where this whole entire movement comes from. Um, but that was not the course. I had to walk this thing out. So I grew up impoverished, grew up, there was many of days I ate out of the garbage can, going to fast food restaurants, the food that they mismade and put in the trash can. We would go in there and eat the food out of the trash can just to have something to eat. Grew up around, drugs, grew up around gangs, the whole 9 yards. And then I became a product of that. I became, I got into a gang. I started selling drugs, the whole 9 yards. And then I had a life changing experience. I sold drugs with all of my children. By the way, I'm a mother of 9 children. 2 of those children are deceased, and I will share that in just a moment. But I'm a mother of 9 children, just a broken woman looking for love in all the wrong places. But I had a vision, from a child, like, this is not it. I just didn't know how to get out. So I tried different things to make fast money. With 6 of my children, I was out there in the streets. I was hustling. And when I went to have my 6th child, which is my first deceased son, me and him died during childbirth. So in death, I met life when my words were not able to speak for me. And call upon the Most High God and say, if you real, please save me. But my tears were able to say that. I thought the thought, and my tears were able to say that. 3 days later, I woke up, I was alive, and I've been running hard ever since then. But that did not end the poverty in my life. It just, for me, selling drugs, transitioning to walking upright, it came with a lot of challenges. I still, as much as I hated poverty, I passed poverty down to my kids. And by doing so, my child had to go to public school. And this is what I've learned since all of this. Public school is free. Everybody get the same type of requirements. Everybody get the same type of treatment. Private school is where you pay for those teachers to cater to your child's learning style and to help your child go to where he's purpose or she's purpose to go in life. And I didn't know that. So by me being on Section 8, welfare, all the government handouts, the free school and the free meals and the public school, it was like, okay. And as soon as my son entered school, they try to label my son as having ADHD, ODD from the gate. And so they started pressuring me. Working a job was not possible because they started pressuring me. And the truth of the matter was, there was nothing wrong with this kid except he was very artistic,
You know,
meaning he,
I went through the same thing with my daughter,
yeah,
where she was labeled ADHD,
yeah.
as well as with autism and like other what they call. They didn't even say autism. They said other health, other mental OHC or something like that.
ODD. It's ODD, oppositional defiant disorder.
Yeah, something like that. And so, like, they were trying to get me to give her medication, and just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just did this research. So I'm gonna let you continue your story, but I just want to say that this is one of the reasons why I felt like we had so much in common. Like we have, like, when it comes down to homelessness and having to like struggle like in those times, I had the same. Your story was so similar to mine, and that was the thing that really drew me to you. Uh Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. And this is what I'm sharing here on today is why I do what I do, because people do things, but there's no meaning. And therefore, when trials and tribulations come, they can't stick to the things that they're doing because there's no why behind it. So, like I was saying, they labeled my son from the get up, and they were like, me being an uneducated poor mother, and that's not an excuse, that's the truth. Me being uneducated and poor, I'm thinking I'm doing the best thing for my child by getting him diagnosed. Okay, y'all keep calling me, bombarding me, threatening me that he can't get, have the same type of public school education experience that everybody else, because he want to adjust, his clothes, or he want to draw instead of doing math, or he want to get up and rearrange his belt buckle. So they were like, we need to get him tested. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me see if something's going on, because at home he this way and at school, I mean, it's just crazy. And so I took him to the psychiatrist. He didn't spend no more than 10 minutes asking me basic questions and then offered the medication. And because I'm totally against medication, I went through all my 9 births with no pain medication. I'm just not into pain medication. I refuse. I'm like, no, I know how to deal with this child. I don't know what the teachers are doing, but I know. And they like, oh, okay, no problem. And then 3 days later, the CPS shows up at my house saying that this child is now medically diagnosed. So now you can have your children removed and you be in prison for medical neglect. Of course, that was too costly. These were my children. So I agreed to allow him to take the medication Monday through Friday. The weekends, no. Holidays, vacations, no. But Monday through Friday. That ended up killing my son 5 years ago. My son
Wow.
to play basketball, and he dropped dead while he was playing basketball. And that was the day that I was mad enough. I was mad enough. My only regret was, had I been in position financially to put my son in a school that would cater to his learning style, that would really take the time to know, if you do math and music, he'd get it like that. He was not interested in learning about, I'm sorry, Christopher Columbus. That was not what he was interested in. And you cannot teach every child the same way, especially not melanated children. So when that happened to me, that tragedy happened to me, that's when I began to take um, coming out of poverty real extreme, like real serious, because that was my only regret, that I allowed these folks to take something from me that I could never get back. So I started the mission right then and there. And the very first thing that I had to do was I had to educate myself. I had to learn how to come out in my mind so that my body would follow.
How old was he when he passed away with this? With this, because I mean that's important because he was a healthy young child. So how could this happen?
So I want to tell you guys this really quickly. I had my first child at 16. And when I say I have 9 children, 5 of them was a product of rape, of me being homeless as a child. Nevertheless, they my children, and they was blessings from God for me. And I decided to keep them. And so I did not get to graduate and go to school and do all of the things that I had desired to do because now I was a mother. And after I had my children and maybe 5 or 6 years after I had my last son, the one that I had that experience, I just had this feeling like I need to go to like a trade school. And so I went to the trade school and I was like, well, I don't want to do criminal justice. I don't want to I'm going to do medical assistant. Now, I was terrified of blood for my past traumas. Whenever I saw blood, I would freak out. But for whatever reason, I really felt like I wanted to do medical assisting. And I also did it so that I can prove to myself that I can be on honor roll, that I can be a straight A student. And so it was more so for that tip. But in taking medical school, you learn medical terminology. Now that you know that, my son was 15 years of age when he dropped dead on the basketball court. Technically, they don't give you autopsies, especially if something medically was wrong. But because he was normal, healthy, never had any issues, no, nothing. They did an autopsy. So they try to come back and play me and say, your son passed away from a congenital birth defect. But because I was always on top of my kid's stuff from the time they gave him medicine, the first time they gave him medicine, when they bullied me into doing that, they gave him Ritalin. And then it caused him some chest pain. I took him back to the psychiatrist. She was like, stop the medication, take him to see a heart doctor. We did that. And so I had medical records that he did not have no congenital heart defect or condition. So I challenged the person doing the autopsy. I was like, that's a straight up lie. And I got documents to prove that. And so they was like, no, this is just a preliminary. We're going to do, the full blown autopsy report will come out like within 6 to 8 weeks. So when it came out, it said that he had suffered 4 myocardial infarctions. Had I not went to medical school and learned that myocardial infarctions are heart attacks, I would have never known that my son suffered 4 heart attacks on this medication.
Wow, they also had given made my daughter, they try to give my daughter Ritalin too. This is like, this story is lining up. Like that's the go to that they
Yeah.
give these children. So that's amazing. So that they do this to these children. Everybody's not gonna be able to like take that type of medication. There should be some kind of like laws to find out.
Well, let me say this because this is a part of my journey. That caused me to research because we, the people, we don't research anything. When we go get loans or whatever, we fill in our documents, we can skip past reading. Like real talk, it's a small percentage of us that will actually read and go research. When you have suffered a trauma like that, you have no other choice but to research. First of all, I wanted to know, what was the medication? How did it kill my son? Did it happen to anybody else? And what I learned was that the school get a bonus for referring the child to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist gets a bonus for diagnosing the child. The pharmacy gets a bonus for filling the prescription. So it's a whole circle. I also found out that 476 other children before my son had died in the same manner from the same medication. I also found out that Ritalin was the first thing. It was real popular, like in the early 80s, somewhere like that. They start coming out with it. ADHD was not even a thing until like the mid 70s, 75, 74, somewhere like that. So what happened was Ritalin caused 12 boys, like over in the UK, to die. And they were all teenage boys. And so they had to black box that medication. It could not be sold. So what they did was they actually took it off the market as Ritalin, put that bad boy back on the market as Concerta. And that medication has the same entire molecules as crystal meth. So it's a lose-lose situation. If you put your child on that medication, they gonna either become harm themselves, harm others, or they'll become drug addicts.
You know what? Adderall has the same thing. Adderall is another version of crystal meth. So yeah,
Yes.
so and uh I think it's interesting that they're trying to give these children like crystal meth at a young age. And so he's like playing basketball, heart probably beating extra super hard
Yep.
because like he that it's just speeding his heart rate up,
Yep.
and no one okay, yeah. See.
And he suffered 4 heart attacks. So he had 3 previous to the one he had the day that he died, which was there was no way to revive him, resuscitate him. And so from that day, I decided to pick up my sword and fight. And the first thing I had to do was educate myself. See, the difference between a rich person and a broke person is a rich person found the pathway, and the poor person don't know the pathway. That's the only difference. Money grows on trees. We've been told all our life, money don't grow on trees. What you think you got going on? But the truth of the matter is, money does grow on trees. Oranges grow on trees, and people buy them and sell them. So does flowers grow on trees. So does walnuts grow on trees. Money grow on trees. We just need to know how to get to the money. And not only how to get to the money, because some of us have been so impoverished and we have a poverty mindset, we can get the money and lose the money. Get the money, lose the money. So you got money bags with holes in them. But the importance of getting the money is to maintain the money and to multiply the money. That's the importance of getting the money. And money is in abundance. So is wealth. There ain't nobody got no, and this is what I learned. Ain't nobody got their feet on my neck. I had my own feet on my neck. As a matter of fact, I had my own chains on my brain. And when you lose something that valuable, they didn't just take my son, they took generations. They took his tomorrow. And then on top of that, I started the movement. And the movement started with me first. And I just had to come to, okay, what do I got? What do I got that's on the inside of me that'll get me paid today and keep me paid tomorrow? And this really started happening around the pandemic. And the only thing that I had on the inside of me was my story. And it wasn't even a story about my son. It was just a story about my life. About me being raped, taken on the Maury Povich show, shot at in gangs, the whole 9 yards. And in 1 hour, I had 12 people that say, can you teach me how to tell my story? And I didn't even sit down to teach nobody how to tell their story. I just opened up my mouth. And then I'm sitting there debating in my mind, like, what do I say? Because ain't nobody never asked me to teach them their story. And so I'm like, yeah, I will. And then they was like, well, okay, well, how much? And I'm like, oh, I come from a poverty mindset. Even though I'm coming out education-wise and educating myself, I still struggle with charging for my knowledge, for my wisdom, for my time. And so I was like, okay, $1,000. I'll charge you $1,000 for 12 months to show you how to take your story and scale it and become an author, whatever. Just open doors. The first words in authorship is authority, Arthur. So I'm going to show you how to establish your own authority. And so 12 women said, yeah. And in 1 hour, I paid myself $12,000. I had never even sold that much, to pay myself that much. And so I took that $12,000, and because I was learning about investment and stop being a consumer, I took that money and I invested it inside of a course where I got me a coach to show me the fast track, because now I had these women and men waiting on me to teach them. So I couldn't learn it over years. I had to go fast track. And so I took that money and I invested that money into me becoming a master storyteller. And the same information that I was learning, they was learning with me. We was going together so that we was not all stair stacked. We were right there. Yep.
So, did you learn a lot of that skill set from like MLM marketing, or was it just more or less like going through like those kind of like classes, like what's his name? Those what do they call them? Like master classes, where
Yeah.
you have people master classes that are people that are like motivational speakers. What's his name? Terry. Dang, I forget his name. But you know, people that like the secret and people like that,
Yeah.
where you look into that.
So
So
let me touch on that because this is very important. They have always taught us to consume, and that's why we don't have enough. Money is seed. Money is not meant to be eaten, it's meant to be planted so that it can keep on growing and growing and growing. We've been taught to get money into spending. And so I got to say this first and foremost, being a hustler in the streets taught me how to be a hustler in the business world. So what I thought was the worst and my bad actually worked out for my good, real talk. Because if you think about it, or if you know anybody, and this is why this is my targeted audience as well, drug dealers are businessmen and businesswomen. They have better credit than anybody. They know about investment. If I buy for 250, 500 is supposed to come back. So they are the best type of investors. They have the best credit. They buy their stuff. They don't lease anything. They don't run credit. So that taught me in that sense. Now I needed to go get a coach. And a coach taught me in that sense the importance of investing. That is what they taught me, the importance of investing, that their information is no different than ours. They just don't consume, they invest. They don't go get Bugattis and stuff when they, you know what I'm saying, leave home. They actually go ride bikes, they walk, you know what I'm saying? They go to college, yeah, they do all of that. They're not taking out extra loans and all of this stuff. They save.
getting credit cards and all this other stuff.
The
Because
stuff
that's
that they
what they tell
offer.
you a business. Oh, if you get a business,
Yeah,
first thing they're trying to tell you is get a credit card so you go in debt. Oh,
that's
go on
it.
Navy Federal and get a
Yeah,
credit card and get a $10,000 credit card. Or do this and do that, you
yeah.
know, and then you end up in debt and your business.
Yeah. So that's what I learned from them. Now, here's the thing, because we will always say, and this is what I learned, I also said it. You know, I've had to repent for saying it because this is what I grew up with. They don't want to see you win. They don't mind giving you the information. You just gonna pay for it. And it's gonna get you there faster, further. So E.T. the hip hop preacher was the first one that I started following because he was a motivational speaker. And then he talked about how he got into corporate and began to speak in colleges. And I'm like, wow, like that's dope. I got lots of stories. If we ain't got nothing but stories, I got lots of stories, period. And so, I invested in him, and then he was on stages with other people, them networking opportunities. That is the ticket. It's not money. It's connections. Because he was connected to Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone was talking about some stuff. I never even was tripping off no land and real estate. I didn't even know that. But I was like, wow, you mean to tell me that you said your kids up in real estate? So I joined one of his $97 workshops. And this is what I like to tell the people. Wherever you got to start there. But the $97 is equivalent to free. If we go to the nightclubs and we pop bottles and we can get in VIP, we got proximity. We got a close range to who we really there for. $97 is just like public school. Everybody get the same information, and it ain't gonna be the best. It's gonna be enough to get you started, but you still gonna need to come and attend another workshop so you can learn how to put it together in another workshop so you can learn how to do that. And so I went to one of his trainings, and the $97 just led to another $97. 97. I'm like, wow, I still ain't got there. So I went to one of his in-person events. And he was like, who want to sit with me, and get into my mind? I'm like, that sounds interesting. I really do. He was like, yeah, the investment is going to be 50,000. And instead of me like, wow, that's a lot, because that's a poverty mindset. I'm like, if I invest 50,000, how much is this going to make me? While you talking to the masses, the thousands of people out there, you're really not talking to me. You're talking at me. I'm not here to ride your coattail. I'm here to get in your mind so that I can take what you did, take it back to my community, and give everybody fair game and a fair advantage. So if it costs me 50,000, how much is it gonna make me? I paid the 50,000. I'm like, look, I went back to the community. Y'all all want to learn this with me? It's $1,000 for 50 people.
You made your money back. You
I
made
made
your money.
the investment, so we all get to learn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, when I went in there and he taught me, I went to his house. I became a part of his mastermind. I got access to all of his investors. I mean, everything. In my first year, I did over $100,000 in my first year. $170,000. Second year was over 300 some thousand dollars. And so I learned to keep on investing, not just with him, but with other coaches, because the power is in the proximity. And they don't mind giving you the information. They just not going to give it to you for free. That's why we ain't had it. That's why we don't got it. And we look at investing in ourselves as if we're not that valuable.
And that's what people have a misconception of. They think of millionaires and things like that have the information as untouchable. Like there's this, like, these people, but actually they're probably some of the kindest, most sharing of information people that you ever run into. People
They
that got
really
money.
are. They really are. I'm here to set the record straight. Them other nations, whether they Caucasian, whether they Indian, they are really generous. The thing is, if I'm finna give you $1 million worth of game, and you only want to pay $97, you're not ready for $1 million. You're not ready for $1 million. You're ready for, and this is what I learned. This is a principle, spiritual principle, that is. If I sow in the $100 realm, then that's the only realm I can reap back from. If I sow into the $1,000 realm, then I can harvest from the $1,000 realm. If I'm investing into the $5,000 realm, I can harvest in the $5,000 realm. If I'm investing into the $50,000 realm, I can harvest in that $50,000 realm over and over and over and over again. And that is what I learned. That's all they do. And they always use other people's money to make them money. That's what I learned when I got.
What is other people's money?
So this is other people's money. We've been taught to get into bad debt. Get that credit card, run it up. You think because you got a $10,000 credit limit, all of it is yours? No. If you go over literally maybe 10% of that, $1,000, you're over your debt to income ratio. So what they do is they go and get businesses, and they don't use their personal social security numbers. They use the entity social security number to build business credit. And then that business credit, they take and use other people's money, the business credit, to go buy them land, to go buy them commercial space, to go buy them real estate. So now that they have used that business credit to buy the real estate, they go buy 100 doors. They got 100 people in there. Let's do some math real quick. They got 100 people, they got 100 doors, and they got 100 people paying their rent every month. Say, for instance, they only had to take 100,000 in business credit to put down to buy that. Boom. So they got 100 people in there times 100 doors. 100 people, 100 doors mean 100 tenants. And the rent is $2,000 a month. They got $200,000 a month coming in passively. Don't let them go put no vending machines there. That's an extra passive. Don't let them get no VIP parking right there for you. VIP trash service. Don't let them go put no pool and no playground there. That's extra passive income. To use the rec center would be an extra $50. That's passive income times 100. So now they got 200 and something $1,000. They can go back and pay that credit card, business credit card. They just ran up 100,000. They can pay that back in 1 month. Now they're in passive income for the rest of their life.
Right. So Here's another question. So a lot of us probably can't afford, to buy property at that level, right? But you were talking about AI. So this is probably an easier way to get into a situation to where, okay, because it took me, I bought my first property and my first rental property. It took me almost 10 years to do that because credit wise, I was struggling as a single mother. My score was below a 400. Of course, I then learned about, hard money lending and things like that, but I had to raise up at least like 10 to 20,000 to be able to get into that game. So there are other games that you could do to be able to generate the money to be able to get into the higher level games. And this is what I thought was very interesting about what you were talking about with the AI and the internet and different things to build up the income. For a
Yep.
person like me that has bad credit, can't do it, this, that, the other, it won't take you 10 years. If I knew about this stuff that you're talking about, I wish I would have known you like 10 years ago because I'd be in a better place.
We both wouldn't have knew this 10 years ago. We both wouldn't have knew this 10 years ago. So I'm glad we met today at the appointment. Well, we met before this. I'm glad we're having this meeting today for an appointed time because I didn't even know this information. And I would like to say this: you can do anything, beloved, and anybody else under the sound of my voice. You can do anything. It's just about how to know the game. You could have bought this rental property and you still can. And I'm going to tell you how to actually get the money to be able to go do it. But that game that I just gave you right there is what they do. And after they get all this business funding legally, they go ahead and bankrupt their business. It's total legally. I mean, it's total legal, period. It's a business. Business went in bankruptcy. We didn't got all the finance and funding out of it that we're going to get out of it. And then you have the reserve and whoever else, write it off. It's total legit. But this is how they do it. So that's the first thing. You can get a non-QM loan and it doesn't have to go on your name and it does not have to go your personal score. We don't got that type of time to wait. They know that if they would have given us 40 acres and a mule, we would be wealthy. That's why they didn't give it to us. However, we don't need to use our personal anything because they don't. There's a private sector and a public sector. I want my people to get out of the public sector. That is a person that is controlled by the government.
You know what? I hate to interrupt you, but you know what? I want you to talk about. Okay, this is what I've also heard that everybody's telling everybody to do an LLC. What I heard is an LLC is like almost like a glorified like basically it's a hustle because you really cannot do the same things you could do with an LLC that you could do with an S corp because it's still connected to your name. And it looks, I believe that a lot of people that are doing what you're talking about doing do not have an LLC. They have like either an S corp or a corporation. Am I right about that?
I have an LLC, so it's always good to actually have an LLC, and this is the reason why I'm going to say this. The LLC can go under a trust, right? The S corp is good, and that's good for tax purposes. All an S corp is a for profit versus a nonprofit. So you get certain taxes, different things of that sort when you're buying real estate, all of that stuff. But an LLC can go right up under a trust. That's what we need to learn: how to establish a trust. Let that trust be the owner of everything. The LLCs go underneath the trust. You become a managing member of the trust and then have certain policies, etc., in place for everybody in your household, and then it recycles and replenishes the trust. You protect yourself from taxes, you protect yourself from lawsuits because you don't own anything. It's the same game they play: own nothing, control everything. So you set up, that's what the Rockefellers have. They have trust, and then they put their LLCs under there. But I have LLCs and I own land. So a LLC, they say a LLC is no more than a glorified sole proprietor, and you want to get an S corp. And that's something, I'm not an attorney, so I can't advise anybody in that aspect. That's something that you would talk to somebody who can help you structure your business according to what you want to do the right way. But a LLC works. And then if you want to go ahead and convert that bad boy later on to an S corp, then you have the ability to do that. I like to tell my people to get started. You don't get started in perfection. You learn as you go, but you get started.
Wow.
Mhm.
Amen.
because
Amen.
the LLC is a limited liability corporation. And what makes the LLC a living corporation is building it out. So when we're born, they give us a birth certificate, but we don't come alive really in their system until we get a social security number. And also, once you be able to add trade lines and start putting your business on Yelp and making your presence known, legally structuring your LLC, then you're a corporation, a limited liability corporation. So that starts and that works. For people to do the S corp, it inquires detailed information, especially for them to give you tax breaks and different things of that sort. But in order to get started with an LLC. A sole proprietor is like a hustler, not an LLC.
Right. Thank you for clearing that up for me because I wasn't aware about that. I
Yeah,
was told some misinformation now. Thank you for telling me that.
yeah, you're
So
welcome.
let's get back into AI. See, I'm a software engineer, and the things that you were telling me about AI, I didn't even know
Yeah,
about even how to leverage AI to be able to build your business. Like I said, it took me 10 years to be able to get my credit up to be able to get a VA loan to try to start to be a landlord. It took me years to like get to that point because I had to get my credit together and it just kept going bad. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's hard to get like at least a 625 if you're like in the 400 to
yeah,
build it up to that point. You're a single mother and you're going through this, going through that. So, like, but there's ways if you have money, you can get hard money loans, but you have to have the cash flow to do it. And what you were talking about with the AI, I believe that like might push people into a better opportunity. So
yeah,
can you explain?
yeah. I sure can. I want to say this too before I talk about AI. I'm gonna give y'all some game right here. Um, Banks start money with other people's money. And if we were not so divided and we came together, we could start our own bank. Money is not hard to come by. That's why I keep saying that, because it's not. Just how I just told you, I wanted to spend 50,000 on learning information that will give us total transformation. And I did the 50,000, but I gave 50 people the advantage of, so there was no money spent and we all got to learn. Instead of all of us bringing you 50,000, 50 of us gonna bring you 1,000, and we all 50 gonna learn that information, get access to this information. So that's how easy it is to actually raise money. But the problem is, with us in our communities, we don't do that. The Chinese do that. The Aramaic people do that. The Hispanics do that. The Caucasians do that. In our community, we don't do that. We tried, and there was about a year or so ago where they was like, okay, I forgot what the name of it was, but that flower thing, and then a whole bunch of people just got messed up in it. But it's as simple as that. When we're talking about building our communities, but AI will get you there faster and further. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm into government contracting. So that's something that I do. I take my people into the government, help them structure their business. Like I was just saying, the LLC, the EIN, making sure you structured and dressed appropriately to go to the government and say, I want $1 trillion contract. I'm a woman, I'm a veteran-owned woman, I'm a minority woman, because there is lots of money available to us. And that's a way to create generational wealth. And that's what I'm all about. I'm not into slave wages. If you want to do the slave wages, then you can go, over there with Mass and them. But I'm going to teach you generational wealth. Also, we teach transportation, because transportation is evergreen. And it is something that's always going to be here as long as the earth, remains. But
Transportation and logistics, not just only transportation, logistics, right?
transportation, logistics. I mean, you can create 7 streams of income from one transportation business: logistics, freight brokering, dispatching, coaching and consultant, trailer rentals. It's just so many things that you can do without ever driving a truck. But over that, this AI, this is the way that I see it. By 2030, this stuff gonna be way crazy. If y'all catch my drift, I'm gonna say way demonic. Scanning your eyeballs and all of that stuff. I'm not with it. I'm telling my people to ride the wave while it's ground level, why it's basement. Now, AI has not just came on the scene, it's been on the scene. I was in some other partnerships where they were having AI, do they crypto and all of that stuff, on autopilot. So that's how they was able to rack it up. But AI is new to the public because they're preparing for where they're going later on down the road. And that's what I'm telling people now. I could actually go in and type in a prompt. I want to create a course about overcoming trauma, and this thing is fleshed out for me in 60 seconds. Step one, lesson two. Now all I got to do is something as simple as this. Turn off my camera and you can hear my voice. If I don't want to even have my voice associated with that course, they got AI. That'll be the instructor. This is something that you can sell for $97 on autopilot. Now, you imagine you learn how to work this technology because it's not hard. And I just gave y'all the background about myself. I didn't get my GED until my oldest child was 18 years of age. I dropped out of school. And if I could do it, you can do it. We allow things that we're not comfortable with to intimidate us. And that was me. I could have been way further than where I am had I been not making excuses like, oh, I really hate it. I'm loving it now. I absolutely love it now. I can have Chat GPT that you got on this screen right here, print me out a whole entire business with a prompt. I want you to give me a business for those in the minority community, and I don't have nothing more than $100 to spend. What can I create? And here's the statistics of the economic disadvantages, yada, yada, yada. I got a whole, if you don't mind me sharing my screen, I'm going to let y'all see. All right, let me go here real quick. Here we go. Unable to load the conversation, probably because it's been so old. Let me see. No, that one ain't on. I don't know why my thing doing that. Unable to load conversation. I was trying to show y'all how I have, and I don't know if it's just because of this. Let me see. Maybe I had too many tabs open. Let me show you real quick. Oh, it's not. I don't know why it's not letting me. I don't know why it's not letting me share my screen and show y'all. But I wanted to show y'all how I have went over here into Chat GPT with just one prompt. And okay, let me find out where we at. I think I lost. Here we go. Let me stop my screen share and show you guys how I went and asked ChatGPT with certain prompts. And that's all ChatGPT is. It's all about the prompts. So I went in there and said, I want to put together a business for minorities. And I want it to be, I only have $100 to spend. And this bad boy spitted me out the whole blueprint, where I can sell it in my local community, everything, how much I can sell each unit for, how I can do $100,000 on it. It was just amazing. And then I found the other tool to actually go create me my website in under 60 seconds. Then I found the other tool that'll actually give me my ad spend. Then I found another tool that'll build me out of avatar theme pages. What we need to do is follow the clues that success is leaving. Everything is going digital. Every single thing is now digital. The way we transact, all of that, it's digital. We do online, DoorDash, food, whatever. It's all bill pay, Amazon. We all shopping online. That's why they crashing all these banks, closing all these brick and mortars down. That's why they removed a lot of people, shut down all the moms and pops. Why? Because this online wealth transfer is happening, and it's happening now. And AI is not a human being. It's not going to replace human beings. It's going to replace human beings that don't know how to work AI. That's who it's going to replace. And it'll tell you we are not human, so we can't like give you emotional stuff. But if you go in there and you prompt your life away, then that's all you need to do. You need to learn the prompts, and the prompts will give you anything that you need. Like I said, if you're not a person that's a camera, I don't want to get on camera, I don't want to use my voice, then create a theme page. The Shade Room is the highest paid theme page, period. And don't nobody know who owns the Shade Room. Coco Melon, who owns Coco Melon? Not unless you start going to go dig it up. They the highest paid channel on YouTube, and all they do is use storytelling. So they have websites where you can go create you some coloring books, where you can go create you some, instead of Barbie, you can go create you some Coco Melon. And this is all theme pages, a faceless YouTube channel. If you get 1 million views on that, you 268,000 minimum to $1 million a month. You can hold it and fold it, which means and this is what they do in real estate. They buy it, they hold it for 5 years, collect the revenue, and then they sell it. And then it's more valuable than it was when they created, the channel. There's all kind of ways. You got AI that'll give you what you need, and get you into monetization. And now all of these platforms, social media platforms, what are they begging us for? Content. I got a bonus right now with Facebook, $30,000. I just got a payout today from TikTok. YouTube is always paying me and always inviting me to their promotions, their beta promotions. Use bar, use this, use that. So they pay you out here in the social media streets. You can have you a course with a website with your ad spend. You ain't got to worry about nobody trying to, your friends that you depend on to support your business. Now they got AI that will do all that. It will write out your email sequences for you. It'll build your platform. It'll build your payment platform, whatever that is. You can be up and running and in passive income in one day using AI.
You know what's so interesting is that I had an idea for a card game, and I swear to goodness, I used AI and I made this whole card game.
Yep.
And it came up with the questions, it came up with the layout of the card game, it came out with what happened, what should happen. I mean everything. The tokens, the rewards,
Yep.
whatever, everything and and that got my job done in a second. So
That's right. And you know what? They have plugins. If you're in Chat GPT-4, they have plugins, and you can say for instance, you wanted a video visual. It's called Visla, Visla. So you can say, okay, take the information that you just gave me above and create me a video using Visla plugin. And in 60 seconds, boom, there go your video. You can have a Canva plugin. So you say, okay, I want you to give me the templates for my cards using the information up above, using the Canva plugin. And boom, it'll send you all the templates. So, coloring books, whatever it is that you're doing, it's absolutely amazing. And there's no way that none of us should be broke right about now. There is no way. They have where you can actually, this call right here could actually be uploaded into an AI platform and transcribed into a book. Take this whole call for you and your Zoom calls now, and transcribe it into a workbook. It's just crazy. Like, you don't have to show your face. You can go into a course. If I got a few minutes, do I got a few minutes? Do I got maybe 2 minutes? Okay. I
yep.
want to show y'all something. Hold on one second.
I'll stop my screen.
Okay. Hold on one second. I want to show you something. All right. Let me see if it's going to let me go back in here and show y'all just how easy it is. Let's say, give me a subject about a course you would want to create. You there, beloved?
Oh, I was talking how to use AI to make $1 million.
Okay. Using AI to make $1 million. Okay, let me see if it's gonna work. Because they free and they'll give you so many for free. And then you have to sign up for, which is like $9. I use this to show my students. So I'm gonna see if it's gonna give it to me or make me create another account. As you can see, I typed in there how to use AI to make $1 million. And we already 50% there.
Now, while we're waiting on this is one of the biggest things why I wanted to bring you on here, because I believe that Dr. Claude Anderson said that if Black people do not get in front of technology, if we don't get on the information highway of technology, then and what are we transporting? We have to understand what we're transporting, and then we will become a permanent underclass.
Yeah.
You know, so
Look at my course. Using AI to make $1 million. That's the overview. That's the intro to AI and its applications in wealth creation. So now I got a 6-week course that I can teach and charge $497 to come here and teach this. Week 1, introduction. Week 2, strategies. Week 3, building. Now we've been learning together. Week 4, practice. Week 5, wrap up. Week 6 is the quiz. Here's my whole entire course, right? Then I come over here. Let me see where it's at. Come right over here. And give them a certificate of completion. And offer them a free community on Facebook or in Kajabi or wherever you want to have your community. So we learn together, and then after that, they need to go somewhere else. So now I need to create another course. Where do we go from now? And you can go back and do the same thing over and over and over again. Not only that, I can go and create my website in 60 seconds or less. That's it. If I wanted to do e-commerce, then I can come over here and do e-commerce. Share my screen really quick. This is for if you have no products at all. Let me make sure I log in over here, so don't give me no issues. This is a free site. This stuff is free. And I want to say I want to sell Black hair care products. Now, I just told that thing I want to have an e-commerce store for Black hair care products, and I want them to create my e-commerce store. Did it log me in? Because it only do this when I'm not logged in. Hold on 1 second.
yeah, I'm letting you like log in so just people don't see your login and stuff. But
Oh, it's hidden. Yeah, it's hidden. Yeah, it's hidden. Hopefully this works. But if not, I'm gonna drop the link for you. That way we ain't holding up a whole bunch of time. Go over here and play with this. This is an e-commerce. Now you can sell products. You customize it, put your prices in there, and now you started making money on autopilot. Let me stop that because I have to go in and probably restart it or relog in or something. But I'm gonna drop that link in the chat for you. Okay. Market C at AI. This thing will build you out an e-commerce store in 60 seconds. It don't even take 60 seconds. Now you got products to sell. So this AI wave is definitely. We don't want to miss the wealth transfer. It took 400 years. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive. Get ahead of the game and don't be behind it. And when it's bottom level, in a couple of years, you have to pay thousands of dollars to get in on it. To be able to get you a website and all of this stuff. No, take advantage of it now.
So there was one time when like the metaverse was like going to be a thing, and buying property online was going to be a thing. Like, so what is the difference between that and just AI? Because like I think that kind of wave, I don't know if they're still going on, or what do you think?
It is. It's still going on. So the difference between the two is they're creating a virtual reality using AI. But AI, it could be used. I'm getting ready to host, in one of my mentorships, how to pay yourself $200 an hour staging virtual homes. That's been AI. When you go on websites to look at houses, you take a virtual tour. Yeah, that's AI. Now we just have it's open to the public. It was just to the private. So now you get to use the tool as a tool to make your resources versus the meta world and buying real estate in the meta world. That's more virtual reality. And that's still real and live. The portal where you can actually put yourself here in this person's room and these I forgot how you beam people. I forgot what they call holograms and all of that stuff. That's virtual reality. But AI is used in virtual reality to create the avatars. Instead of you being yourself, they create the avatars. All of that is AI. That's the difference between the two.
So I wanted to like ask the audience if they have any questions. I just dropped the link. If anybody has any specific questions, in the meantime that the link is dropped, I also want to ask you. So so how did you use this in your case, and how did it work? Like, okay, so what? Give me the case study in your situation that you used this and other things to build wealth. So you took your grief, you turned it into triumph. Give us the case study on that.
So I did not have AI available for me. That's the reason why I'm pushing it the hardest. Mine's come straight out of the grind. And AI does not replace the grind, it just helps you get there faster. Had I would have known the benefits of AI when it was first introduced to me, because of my skepticism, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do anything robotic and all of that stuff. So I grinded. Like how I got to where I'm at, I sat on live every single day, 2 and 3 hours a day serving people. So I grind. Everything that I learned, I came back and brought it to the community, and then I started accepting people to be able to be a part of my mentorships, my masterminds, different things of that sort. And like I was sharing earlier, the information that I have learned in my masterminds is the reason, because everything in life is about strategy. How you put water in a cup is a strategy. How you use the restroom is a strategy. How you tie your shoes, how you walk, it's a strategy. So everything in life is a strategy. Everything about life is strategic. And I had to learn how to use strategies. It's a numbers game. I don't need 1 million people to make $1 million. And this is what my coaches showed me. Like, you can put together a retreat, a whole weekend exclusive retreat. And there's millions of people in America alone, 334 millions of people. But that don't mean that all millions of those people want what you have. So you put out a call using ads, using, AI, artificial intelligence, to show your ads to the people that are called to you, that are assigned to you. And I was able to do that. I put out a call like, hey, I have a retreat. I have a VIP day. It's in person, and everybody, I'm not here for everybody. Everybody can't afford it. But for those who can, you pay me $10,000, I'm going to give you some game that's going to make you, 7 figures, period. It's all about proximity. So I get 12 women to do that. And then once they're there, would you like to go further for a year? And then I have a $25,000 program for a year. So I was able to I shared some numbers earlier. First year was 170. Second year was over 330 something thousand. Third year was almost at 1 million, and yeah, I done over $1 million.
Wow, that's amazing. So,
And I have helped. I gotta say this because this is how I was able to do that. Um, During the pandemic, I helped over 250, well, 60 be able to stay in their homes and scale their income without PPP checks and all of that stuff. We did that for over 60, and they all had over $60,000. Business funding, Sam's Club, they had their food, they had, monies, they had monies everywhere. And then from there, we helped over 250 since, the pandemic started, just be able to start a business and scale one.
this is why I think this information is important to people, because we might be approaching another like pandemic type of thing.
We are.
There's like the crashing of the changing of the, and you talked about that. I know we're kind of going over time, but I want you to kind of touch on that before we go, and then I want you to I want you to touch on that aspect. The reason why I'm really bringing this to people is to create awareness so that they have other streams of income. If this thing shuts down, what do we do?
Yep. That's the real question, because Ray Charles can see what's going on. We in a war right now. So if you think inflation was bad, everything and things are being done strategically by powers that be. That's what I'll say. Things are being done strategically. And we be in the street saying we are not our ancestors. Are we not our ancestors? Ain't no way in the world. Because I told y'all about one son dying. My oldest baby was just murdered by fentanyl in April. So I have 2 deceased children. And that's more than enough pain for us all and the people who did this to both of my sons are still trying to do this to the rest of the world. If you catch my drift. So a lot of this stuff that is this invasion, we got people that's on the ground that can harm us right now. They're already here. And so what I'm calling leading the charge is for my people to stay out the way. Be over here building you something that can be blessed. That's what's most important. If you build it, then it'll get filled. Stay out the way, because there is more to come down the pipeline. When evil men get into position, they never want to relinquish the position. And by all means necessary, they will do whatever, whenever, and however to stay in that position. So this is not about us. This is about good versus evil, period. And we can become casualties, or we can choose to remain, out of the mix for the most part. One thing that was spoken to me was those who are indebted to the government you got to pay up, period. So I started paying off student loan debt. I start buying my own land. If I can't enter into your stores because of a certain such and such, cool, I built my own. If I can go into your own hospitals because I refuse to do so, I got my own on my own dirt. I got my own school. I got my own food. And that's really what's most important, is that we stop looking for outsiders to take care of us, especially outsiders that ain't never cared about us. And we start building something for us, built by us.
Ashe. So, if no one's going to come up here and ask any question, I think that she's really speaking the truth. And there's really, I mean, hell, what's the question? So where can we find you at? So I can like tell people to come. I did put a lot of your links in the bottom of this live. But what's your main website, and how do people, what's your latest thing that you're doing, project?
So I'm getting ready to have, in about 40 minutes, I'm getting ready to have a free workshop. Okay. It's absolutely free. And I'm gonna be at least giving you, like I just sat here and broke it down, but a little bit more in depth, how you can get you a digital product. And that's free, and actually start making money. But you want to reach me, I'm Dr. Tawanna Worlds on Facebook. Dr. Tawanna on Instagram, Dr. Tawanna on TikTok. I'm Dr. Tawanna. The only place I'm not Dr. Tawanna is on YouTube. I'm Dr. Tawanna the Disruptor because that's what I do. I disrupt. And so
Where's that class going to be at that you're about to do?
it's gonna be on Zoom.
On Zoom. Okay, so how does anybody get to that?
It's all over my social medias. I'll let me see if I can send this to you.
Put it into the live so I can like add it there. So if anybody that's here is interested in that, when you leave here, to get more detailed information on how to create a digital product, because like I said, it's just the beginning of the fall, and they're predicting all kind of like saying all type of different things are coming out, and we're about to probably be quarantined once again, right? So when we have this quarantine, we need to be able to like have other forms of income.
That's right. Because they're gonna shut it down. I don't know if it says connect your YouTube account to join the live chat. Let me just send it to you, beloved, because
Put it in the private chat, I guess.
oh, the private chat. Let me see.
On here.
Hold on one second.
Because I got the one that the markets one, so
Okay, hold on one second. Let me invite, copy the invitation. Okay. Copy meeting invitation. Let me put it in a private chat over here. Then you can share it. All right. So yeah, at 4 p.m., which is in about 45 minutes, I'm gonna take some time and get ready for that. But I will be giving out some free game on this digital space where you can go make you a digital product and sell it, implement it.
it looks kind of crazy. But I mean,
If they can just get the meeting ID and the password, they'll be good to go.
yeah, if you go on Zoom with that meeting ID, right here and the passcode, that should let you in. So if you go on Zoom.com and then type in that meeting ID and passcode, or you dial in with your number. I'm also gonna put it into the main thing underneath, so you can like get to that as well. Uh, all right. Tracy Sampson says, "I can't wait. She's currently helping me with my digital product, Ashe." So,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not gonna hold you anymore. I know that you gotta like get ready for this thing, and I'm gonna be over there too.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Well, thank you so very much. For having me here. This is what I love to do. I appreciate it, and yeah, I look forward to serving y'all. This is because of what's going on. This is my way of saying you need to do something, and you need to do something now. So I'm reserving about an hour to an hour more of my time for free to show people, how to do what it is that they need to do to get them some digital dollars fast.
Hey, Noah said we need to get on the ark, and you like Noah. You like, okay, y'all.
Hello, that part. Yes, indeed. That's right. That's right. That's what time it is. That's why I said build something and then it could be filled. Noah's job was to build the ark, not fill the ark. But it was something that he built that sustained humanity, like real talk. So that's what we got to do. Our family members, some of our family members don't believe, but we can clearly see what's going on. We are at war. That's a big thing. We're at war. And then while we're at war, we have no reliable leadership at all.
Ashe. So I want you to like give your final words to the crowd here, to the people in the room, the people that's going to see this later on. I want you to just give us some final words.
All right. My final words would be do not wish for it, work for it. That's what I really want to say. Don't nobody got you like you. Ain't nobody coming to save us. There's no politician. There's none of that. And I said it earlier, but I have suffered enough pain so that we don't have to keep suffering pain. One of the things about me is I'm really for the culture. Everything that has ever happened has always been intended for we the people. And that's because they know who we are. It's time for us to know who we are. And if you really want to change your financial forecast, then do something today that's going to get you paid tomorrow. I don't care if you got to sacrifice an hour of your sleep to learn a new skill, or sacrifice eating your lunch for an hour. Whatever you got to do, it's all about implementation. That's it, and that's all. We are so information rich and asset broke, it's ridiculous. If this dollar was to collapse tomorrow, what do we have? We don't have anything. So take the opportunity to make you some dollars before it absolutely dies all the way out, and then go get you some physical assets, some real wealth. Go get you some gold, go get you some silver, go get you some land, go get you some cattle and some oxen. That would be my last words. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too. Thank you, sister.